Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, so we are talking about vitamin E, your protector vitamin. It protects all our cells. The fact that vitamin E protects all cells means it has therapeutic applications for pretty much everything. Pretty much anything that involves a cell, which is everything. Chronic degenerative diseases are cell diseases. Vitamin E is anti-inflammatory for the cell, so you're going to get multiple benefits, which makes it an important supplement for lots of different things. Inflammation and the relevance of inflammation to health is based on an idea called simplexity. I meant to talk about this yesterday, and I got a little bit waylaid. And by the way, I apologize for whatever happened over at the network and we went off the air. If you called yesterday, I think I was on the phone with somebody, and if you're listening, please call back. We'll get you first up. Anyway, we're going to talk about simplexity. I didn't get to do it, so I'm going to talk about it now. Inflammation highlights this idea of simplexity. Simplexity is a modern term, came about maybe the last 10 or 15 years, and it describes the simple threads that run underneath what seems to be complex. Scientists call this phenomena of little simple building blocks turning into a big entity. They call that emergence. It's how individual bees can create a macro beehive. The little bees, they don't know anything about the beehive, but if you look at all of these thousands and thousands and thousands of bees from a distance, it looks like an organism. The beehive looks like an individual organism. You don't know, if you're looking at it from a distance, you don't know that it's made up of a bunch of bees. Even the bees themselves don't know that they're composing a beehive. This phenomena of little things emerging into big things, a bunch of little ants creating an anthill, a bunch of little cells creating a body, a bunch of little people creating a country. This is called emergence, and it's been used to explain this phenomenon of little things creating big things, microscopic entities creating macroscopic entities. This is so important when it comes to health. I can't even begin to say how important this is, this idea of little things creating big things, tiny little things emerging into big things. It's high-tech physics. It's got all kinds of mathematics associated with it, and some of the most brilliant PhDs are working on it. It's based on an idea called complexity theory and chaos theory and all kinds of fancy physical ideas associated with it, but it's relevant to our day-to-day existence, especially if we're sick. The body looks like a macroscopic entity, but it's really made up of 100 trillion cells. Like a beehive looks like a macroscopic entity, but it's made up of a bunch of little bees. Underneath these big picture macroscopic entities, whether we're talking beehives or anthills or bodies or countries, there's always going to be fundamental building blocks that compose it. This is what simplexity is. Simplexity is the science of the simple things that are underneath complexity. Simplexity is like a blend of simple and complex, and it is mathematically rigorous. There are all kinds of formulas and algorithms and theories, and it's a serious part of high-tech physics. Scientists studying shapes in nature, pine cones and seashells and embryos and fetuses, always find repeating mathematically symbolic formulas underneath all of this. How things grow is based on very simple equations and proportions and ratios. This is how architecture works. It's how the Colosseum and how the Great Pyramids and how the Parthenon and any great architecture is always going to have simple formulas underneath, very, very basic formulas underneath. Here's the take-home message. Here's the bottom line. Well, this is kind of interesting. I think it's interesting when it comes to architecture and bodies and beehives. If you're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, it's a matter of life or death. It's not just fancy schmancy academia. It's life or death if you're dealing with cancer, if you're dealing with heart disease. Even if you're just dealing with something seemingly superficial like acne, understanding the simple ideas, the simple concepts beneath the acne will free us from the tyranny of the modern medical model. So if we're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, this is not just academic. This is not just interesting. This is life or death. On the surface, the disease may look like it's a complex mess. And this complex mess, it can be overwhelming. I know, I understand. I talk to people every day, multiple times a day, who are overwhelmed by the complexity of the symptomology. But the reason I call this program The Bright Side, the reason this is the good news, is because underneath the complexity is simplicity. Simplexity, the simple threads that run underneath complex phenomena. Our sicknesses, our diseases, our beehives, and the basic units, the bees, where the disease emerges from, is the cell. The cell is to the disease what the bee is to the beehive. Your doctor doesn't know this, or he doesn't understand this, or he doesn't care about this. He's treating the beehive, but it's the bees that are sick. You see the issues here. This is why we're not getting better. This is why the medical model is a failure when it comes to chronic degenerative disease. And I mean a failure, I mean an F. I mean an F minus, not a D, not a C, an F minus. And if it went lower than F minus, it would get that. It is a utter and complete failure because it's treating the beehive. But the problem is the bees. Seems obvious when you think about it this way. We don't have gallbladder disease. We got bee disease, gallbladder cell disease. We don't have heart disease. We got bee disease, heart cell disease. We don't have Alzheimer's disease. We got bee disease, i.e. nerve cell, brain cell disease. We don't have sick beehives. We got sick bees, but we're treating the beehive. And that's why we're not getting better. And that's why if you're listening to this program, you know more than your doctor, especially when it comes to chronic degenerative diseases and reversing them. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. Got lines open for you. We're coming back with more good health information on the bright side right after this.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. And there's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart, a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally, and it's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
Hey guys, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Sell your stuff online, like old golf clubs, sports equipment, tools, and yes, even your car. Forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their fair share from you when these sales were finalized. Buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge you item fees. Just go to the website now and sign up so you can load all your stuff to sell. This is not an auction site. Just use our resources along with Skype and videos to sell your items quickly. Buysellmakeoffer.com. Also, we're giving you 30 days free on us.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Why be held hostage by your wireless carrier for 2 years? What if you had no contract, no activation fees, no hidden costs, tracking, tracing, harvesting customer data, or draconian gimmicks, all on the nation's best 4G LTE network? Introducing Pix Wireless. Bring your phone and other qualifying devices to Pix and choose a plan starting at only $14 a month. Get connected now. Call or click 1-866-267-2056 or pixwireless.com. Spelled P-I-X, wireless.com. Pick Pix and get connected today.
Okay, so it's about the bees, not the beehive, and that's what we talk about here every day on the program. The medical model wants you to think you got a beehive problem. That's what diseases are. They're beehives. The thing about the bees is they're all the same. That's the thing. That's the importance of the bees compared to the beehive. All these zillions of different bees are the same. And while there's a couple hundred different kinds of cells, from a health perspective, they're all the same. They need the same things. If I had to tell you one theme, one idea that I want people to go home with after they've listened to this program or heard my talks or listened to this program regularly, listened to me regularly, it's the idea that underneath all the chronic degenerative diseases and symptoms, we got the same simple things underneath. This frees us. It means you don't need a special protocol for this disease and a special formula for that disease and a specialist for this illness or this type of cancer. We got specialists not just for cancer, we got specialists for special cancers. In the world of chronic degenerative disease, there's thousands of them. According to the World Health Organization, there's over 12,000, and there's hundreds of symptoms. Rashes and pains and aches and memory and cognitive issues and fatigue issues and chronic colds and difficulties urinating and hypertension and arrhythmias and weight gains. It's seemingly endless. Cysts and growths and tumors and cancers, and we got specialists to treat us for this cyst and this arrhythmia and this blood problem and this heart problem and all these different specialists. And we got all of these different drugs for blocking and suppressing and inhibiting, and we got all these surgical strategies for removing things and radiating things. But does anyone ever get better from a chronic degenerative disease? No. Never. They may get their symptoms, they may reduce their symptomology, or they may reduce their risk, whatever the heck that means. You know, we'll reduce your risk of heart disease by 5.7%. What? What does he mean? Nobody gets better because we're not addressing the bees. We're not addressing the real causes, which are revealed by taking a deeper look at the components, the building blocks, the simple building blocks. So what are the simple threads that run beneath disease and symptomology? All right, now you know that it's about the bees, it's not the beehive. So what are the bees? What represents the bees? Well, we spent a lot of time, and we'll continue to spending a lot of time about the main bee, the king bee, and that's the cell. Beneath all organ systems, beneath gallbladders, you got gallbladder cells. Beneath hearts, you got heart cells. Beneath brains, you got brain cells. Underneath, and it's not really beneath because they're as. You got to look deeper. It's not like beneath. You got to see with this kind of vision that sees the components of the macroscopic vision. Beneath all of these macroscopic systems, tissues, structures in the body that are so-called disease, you're going to find a messed up cell. If we think we have a bad heart, or we have Alzheimer's, dementia, eczema, or psoriasis, or it's because our parents had it in their genes, or it just happened to us, we're not going to know what to do. From the complex macroscopic picture, it's overwhelming. We don't have no idea because we're not looking at where it's happening. We're looking at the symptom, the effect. That's why we go to the witch doctors who wave a little hydrocortisone on us. Maybe they'll wave a little beta blocker and tell us that we've just reduced our risk of heart disease by 7.6%. Cancer is the classic example of being fooled by complexity. by macroscopic pictures, images. On the surface, cancer looks like a complicated mess. It looks like this disastrous, complex health morass. But from a basic, fundamental building block perspective, cancer is a cell. And guess what? All cancers begin with one single cell. And at that level, it's not supposed to happen. It rarely happens at that level. There are multiple safeguard mechanisms that keep the cell from becoming cancerous. Normal cells, the growth of normal cells is tightly regulated. Do you know a cell will not grow unless it's told to by its neighbors? This is how cooperative cells are. Really amazing when you think about it. A cell will not grow or divide until it has growth signals that come from the neighboring cells. Why? Because the neighbors got to live with the new cells. It's just common sense, common biological sense. If you got a neighborhood of cells, in order for you to move in, the other cells have to agree. They have to actually encourage it. Cancer cells have figured out how to bypass that. A cancer cell is a cell that doesn't need to have signals from its neighbors. It doesn't need permission from its neighbors. If you want to move into an apartment in a controlled rent unit or some fancy apartment building in New York, you got to have permission from your neighbors. Likewise in the body. For a cell to grow, it's got to have permission from its neighbors. A cancer cell is a sociopath. It sneaks in. It has figured out how to bypass the requirement for permission from its neighbors. And the neighbors have anti-growth factors they secrete. When the neighboring cells don't want to have anybody move in, so to speak, they'll secrete anti-growth factors. Not only do they have growth factors and division factors that will tell cells to divide and grow, but they have anti-growth factors. Anti-division factors, well, guess what? A cancer cell is a cell that has bypassed that step too. So you got these two major mechanisms that keep cancer from happening. One is cells don't grow unless their neighbors give it permission, and the other is the neighboring cells have suppressor chemicals that keep cells from growing. Cancer cell bypasses both of those. Oh, but there's more. Ordinary cells die. Ordinary cells have a lifespan. You've probably heard of these things called telomeres. I'm not going to get into that. But you have little shoelaces on the ends of cells. They're called telomeres. And when those shoelaces are done, the cell dies. Oh, guess what? Cancer cells have figured out how to bypass that too. They make their own enzymes. This is really unbelievable when you think about it. Cancer cells make their own enzymes for keeping the shoelace intact. Shoelace enzymes, telomerase they call it. Don't even worry about the name. Call them shoelace enzymes. So ordinary cells, they'll die because eventually their shoelace, it's like one of those little fuses on a stick of dynamite. The telomeres, the fuse shortens and shortens and shortens and shortens. The shoelace shortens and shortens and shortens. Boom, the cell dies. Cancer cells have figured out how to keep their shoelaces, their fuses going forever. They're immortal. They don't die. By the way, this is the model for immortality. It shows you that cells actually can become immortal. Not necessarily, in this case, of course, not in a good way. But cancer cells have bypassed that mechanism too. Oh, there's more. This is why cancer hardly ever occurs, relatively speaking. Even though it seems so disastrous, it's never supposed to happen. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back right after this. And let's see. I want to tell you a couple more of these mechanisms that cells have for protecting themselves from cancer. Seemingly cancer affects so many people, but as it turns out, according to the American Cancer Society, there's some 10 or 11 million people who have a history of cancer or have been diagnosed with cancer. So if you do the math, 10, 11 million, something like that, divided by 300 something million, it's not a lot of folks. It's 10 million, so it's 3%, right? So 97% of people don't get cancer. It's because of all of these mechanisms that are in place for keeping cells from switching over into carcinogenesis, which is actually a growth issue, a growth phenomena. Ordinarily, cells are controlled, their growth, but cancer cells are not controlled. And there's a lot of people, including myself, who believe that switch over into uncontrolled growth is actually a coping mechanism. It's actually a way the cell copes with stress. And this is the key, you guys. Underneath all chronic degenerative diseases, you're going to find a stressed out, freaked out cell. A cell that is like a traumatized baby. I remember watching once this thing on history of World War II, and they showed Europe, they showed Germany after World War II. In May of 1945, Germany was unbelievable, really. I mean, all of Europe was just completely trashed, but there were these babies, little children and babies who would just be wandering the streets because their parents were dead. And I remember seeing a picture of this little kid, this little baby, like probably a year old, sitting in the city street in all these bombed out buildings, and this kid was just crying his eyes out in this street that was filled with these bombed out apartment buildings and office buildings and museums, whatever the buildings were. And that's what I think of when I think of a traumatized cell. It's like this little baby in the middle of a street of disaster, of complete and utter chaos. That's what a cancer cell is. That's what a sick cell is. It's a cell that doesn't know what else to do. Cancer cell has switched over into a primitive way of utilizing energy. It's on safe mode, like your computer on safe mode, where it can't really do any functions. It just grows. And while sometimes we call it a sociopathic cell, that's kind of unfair because it's just doing what it knows how to do. It just what it needs to do to survive. It's in survival mode, and this is so important. It's this nature of survival and threat and attack and protection. That's what disease is. And the doctor can't help us at this level. We've got to get this idea out of our heads. Chronic degenerative disease is not medical. If you're on a prescription drug, you've been had. If you're on a prescription drug for any kind of chronic long-term degenerative disease, you've been suckered. You've fallen for it. I don't mean that in a mean. I don't want to be mean-spirited about it here, but we got to keep it real. If you're on an anti-cholesterol drug because you think that's going to help you live longer because of you have had a history of heart attacks, if you're on antihypertensive because you think you're going to live longer because hypertension is associated with all kinds of diseases, if you're on any prescription drug because you think you're going to be better off for it, you've been suckered. You've been taken advantage of by people who either don't know themselves or don't care. And that's what the bright side's all about. It's about handling our business ourselves. And when we understand that underneath all of this, all the chronic degenerative disasters that we confront as a country and as a planet are these common, basic, simple breakdowns, we will become free. And that's what this is all about. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let us show you how simple and how easy it can be if you're dealing with a chronic degenerative health crisis, if you want to wean yourself off your prescription drugs, if you're sick of prescription drugs, you're sick of the medical model. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Colin in Oklahoma City. What's up, Colin? Good morning.
Hey, Ben. Morning.
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Oh, well, I talked to you about right before Christmas about my wife dealing with all the pregnancy issues with the carpal tunnel and all that stuff and emotions. Well, we've had the baby.
Congratulations. What'd you get? What flavor?
A boy.
Awesome. Good job. What's his name? What'd you name him?
His name's Purpose.
Serious? That's awesome. Yeah. Every time somebody calls him, they'll be reminded of Purpose.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Very clever.
Well, she is having major issues with like anxiety, and depression, and the doctors are trying to put her on Zoloft and Xanax, anything.
Don't make me mad. That's just going to make me mad here. I don't want to hear that. All right? Because I know they do that. Because they're working at the macro level. They're working at the beehive level. She's anxious at the beehive. Did you hear me talking about the beehive and the bee?
I did.
They're working at the beehive. Oh, she's anxious? We give her anti-anxiety. But I'm telling you to go to the bee. The bee is blood sugar. The bee is oxygenation. The bee is fatty hormones and digestion. Okay? Those are your bees. Number one. I don't want to say this in order of importance. They're all important. So when I say number one, I don't mean it's first. I mean this is the first thing you're going to do, okay? Stabilize the blood sugar. It's vital. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, will spark off anxiety faster than anything. Well, almost faster than anything. Stabilize the blood sugar. More protein. She's probably protein deficient. Is she breastfeeding?
Yes.
Okay, this becomes extra important because baby is getting all of her crappy chemicals. All of her anxiety-promoting chemicals, her stress chemicals, they're all going into the baby. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
This is not optional at this point because now she's taking care of somebody else. When a mom breastfeeds, essentially her and her baby are one. They're one unit through the breast milk. So she doesn't have an option now. Now this is serious business because can you imagine what it's like for a little baby to have that kind of anxiety? At least your wife, she can, have some reasonable understanding something's going on. The baby doesn't know, but the baby's getting those chemicals. So anyway, I'm just saying that to reinforce how important this is. Stabilize the blood sugar, more protein, more essential fatty acids. Get her on the ultimate EFAs. If she's not, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. She should be having zero tolerance for dessert. Hang on, Colin, just one thing. She should have 0 tolerance for dessert. 0. Not, I usually say when I talk to people about blood sugar and diet is, just do it as best as you can. She has to have 0 tolerance because now this is about the baby. So fruits, desserts, fruit juices, pies, starchy white bread, all of that, avoid it entirely. Replace it with good quality protein. If she can do whey, it's the best. Egg is also good if she can do egg. If she can't do whey or egg, have her go into hemp seed protein. Of course, fish and meat and that kind of stuff, fleshy foods. Those are going to be good sources of protein as long as they're clean. Bone soup. I'm sorry, you were going to ask me something before I cut you off there. What were you going to say?
I forget.
Okay, don't worry. This is all good information. This is all good information for you, okay? So next thing is breathing, oxygenation. I said earlier that nothing will trigger anxiety or panic attack faster than sugar. Well, hypoglycemia, low oxygen will. So make sure she's deep breathing slowly. She should be spending 5 minutes in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, slow, deep breathing, focusing on the exhale, blowing off acid and carbon dioxide. And then third, digestion, especially around fats and fatty vitamins. So in addition to the ultimate EFAs and the fatty vitamins, she's going to need to work on fat absorptions. Don't go away, Colin. This is important, okay? We'll finish up when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side talking to Colin in Oklahoma. Colin, you there, my man?
Yes.
Okay, so number 1, stabilize blood sugar. Low blood sugar, hypoglycemia will set off anxiety issues, make her feel crappy, make her feel fatigued. She's just generally low energy is basically what it sounds like. And this is very common after pregnancy because her estrogen drops, and estrogen can be a kind of excitable type hormone. So this is very common. How's her hair, by the way? Any issues there?
How's her hair?
Is it thinning out at all? Sometimes that happens. Or did it get darker?
No, she's got real thick curly hair.
Okay, good. All right, so anyway, blood sugar, stable. Treat her like a diabetic. Go ketogenic diet, coconut oil, more protein. You can use glutamine. The glucogel caps, by the way, have glucosamine in there, and glucosamine sometimes helps folks stabilize their blood sugar. So just reading about that. So you may want to get her on the glucogel caps. That'll help her rebuild connective tissue also. And then the respiratory thing, make sure she's deep breathing slowly, and she should be going out of her way to do it. In addition to just when she's hanging around, she's just, cooking or taking care of the baby, deep breathing. And by the way, deep breathing before she delivers her milk will help out with the baby. So maybe spend a couple of minutes doing some slow, deep breathing before she breastfeeds. And then last but most certainly not least, focus on the digestive system, especially fats and fat absorption. A couple things there. You're going to want her on the ultimate EFAs, three times a day. You're going to want her on vitamin A and E and probably D if you can't get sun, which probably you can't. And then K probably is a good idea too. So we're looking at about 1,000 micrograms of K2 a day, 10 to 20,000 IU of vitamin A a day, 400 IU of vitamin E a day, and 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 a day. You'll get a lot of that in the Healthy Start Pack, but I would take extra. And then use lots of fermented foods and probiotics. Very, very important. Lots of fermented foods and probiotics. Well, yes?
We just got stocked up in probiotics.
Go for it, man. Stay in touch with me. I'd like to hear how you're doing. And I got to move on. Thanks, Colin. Congratulations, buddy. And Happy New Year, man. Okay. All right, Dillon, what's going on? Dillon in Texas. Welcome to The Bright Side.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Doing good, my man. What's going on?
Man, listen, I love you guys' program. I've been watching, I listened to you guys for some time. I've lost about 40 pounds.
No kidding. Congratulations.
Really. And, I am on Social Security, so I can't afford a whole lot of stuff.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got tons of questions, but one of them in particular.
Hang on, Dillon. How'd you lose the 40 pounds? Just give me don't elaborate. Just a couple quick points.
Okay, basically, I'm just listening. I am off of gluten.
Okay, great.
That made a big difference in all the fatty other stuff like potato salads and weenies and bologna and sausage. And
awesome.
I don't even touch my mayonnaise at all.
And the pounds just dropped off you.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, Dillon? Just approximately.
Man, I'm 71.
Awesome. It's never too late.
I wish I would have known about you guys here. But
it's never too late.
Years ago.
It's never too late. Spread the word. How can we help you today, Dillon?
I've got a problem, right? One of them is I presuming that I might have some kind of a blockage. I don't know why. I've taken some magnesium.
What do you mean by blockage? I'm not
in my stomach, in my digestive system.
Constipation?
Yeah, but see, my was not really what you call hard. That's not the issue. It just won't come out.
Okay, gotcha. Here's the deal. When that happened, okay, hang on though. So, in other words, you can't have a bowel movement. It's not like it's hard. It's just stuff's not coming out.
Right.
Okay, that's not good. That's not good. No, not good. Not good. That's all toxins that are coming back up into your blood, especially at the age of 71. That's not what you need. A couple things. Get yourself some flax seeds. You know what those are? Get yourself some golden. They have golden and they have brown. The golden ones are more nutritious than the brown, and try to get the organic golden. But whatever you do, get flax seeds. Get a little coffee grinder. It'll cost you about $20, and then put a lot of flax seeds, maybe 4 tablespoons of flax seeds in the coffee grinder, grind it up, and then add the flax seeds to water and drink it. And you want to do that once or twice a day. You don't want to do too much. You don't have too much stuff in there, too much fiber, but anywhere from once or twice a day. After about 2 or 3 days, you should start to have good bowel movements. Okay? Now, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you're not eating anything that's putting your intestines in shock. See, when the intestines are attacked over and over again, they don't want to move. It's like if you were attacked over and over again, you'd just be laying there. You don't want to move. They're sore. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So after the intestines are attacked and they're sore and they're inflamed, they don't want to move. That's constipation. Okay. So if that's the case, you're going to have to do a food diary and see if you can link your problems to specific foods. There may be some foods that are freaking out your intestine. The only way to do that is to write down everything you eat and then notice digestive symptomology within 2, 4, 5, 6 hours after you eat the food. You're going to need to accumulate some data. So do the flaxseed strategy, and then do a food diary strategy, and then eliminate problem foods. And then last but not least, start working with improving gut health using the nightly essence, and then fermented foods. You can make your own fermented foods, or you can buy sauerkraut, make sure there's live cultures in there. And then also apple cider vinegar helps out too.
Yeah, I do the apple cider vinegar. I hear you speak that, and I do it, but I dilute mine.
You can dilute it.
How you would recommend it?
I do it straight out of the bottle, personally. You can mix it with some oil and make a salad dressing. Dip cucumbers and tomatoes in there. Or you can dilute it if you like. That's another way to do it. You can also use something called pepsin, P-E-P-S-I-N, pepsin HCl. Or you can use the ultimate enzymes from longevity if you're doing longevity, and you'll get some betaine HCl. And then if you want to go super, super strength, get a doctor to write a prescription for you for HCl. That HCl stands for hydrochloric acid. HCl drops. So betaine HCl has hydrochloric acid in it or hydrochloride in it, and then also pepsin HCl. Okay? Thank you, Dillon.
Sir. I got one question real quick. You can answer to me later. My wife has real bad neuropathy, and you spoke a while back about melatonin.
Melatonin can help, absolutely. I don't want you.
Do you have a date on your archives?
I sure don't, buddy. I don't know how that works, but if you search melatonin, you'll find it. But if you just get her on some melatonin. There's more to it than that, of course. That's usually a sign of blood sugar problems, so working on the blood sugar is important for neuropathy. Neuropathy is caused by cells that have died and are secreting their chemicals, and the nerves are being contacted and irritated. So the question is, why are cells dying? That's really the question when you have neuropathy. And the first thing to think about is diabetes, blood sugar, insulin problems. Insulin problems and diabetes go hand in hand with neuropathy. All right, Dillon, thanks so much for your call, buddy. And if you want to do melatonin, have her do 3 to 6 milligrams of the sublingual kind. NOW now makes a good sublingual brand.
Wow. God bless you.
God bless you, my friend. Take care. Thanks, Dillon. Kevin in Arizona. What's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, Kevin? How you doing?
I'm 57 years old, and when I was 15 years old, I had a right occipital brain aneurysm,
Okay.
and I had to go to a neurosurgeon, and they had to open my head up and take it out.
Okay.
And they put metal clips on other blood vessels up there. And then in the year 2001, I was 42 years old, and it happened again. I had a second brain aneurysm.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
They had to open me up again and take that out surgically. And ever since 1974, I've had seizures because they say it's the scar tissue from the surgery. And I was listening to your talk about trying to get off other medications, and I wondered if there was anything I could do.
Are you on meds now? Are you on Tegretol or Depakote, or what do they give you?
Dilantin.
Dilantin. Okay. Here's you have your liver checked every 6 months or so?
No. Should I?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Dilantin is very hard on the liver. All anticonvulsants are. Here's the deal. You have a short circuiting in the brain. All right, brain is a highly electrical system, and the currents have to run in this perfectly choreographed direction. You can't have sparks flying all over the place. What's happening in your brain is because of the metal and the aneurysms and the surgeries, the inflammation and the scar tissue. Electrical energy is not being conducted in a straight line fashion. Does that make sense? Kind of an awkward explanation there. Okay, so you're short circuiting basically. So we need to work on neural conduction, electrical conduction in the brain. Fats, first of all your fats, especially EFAs, and coconut oil can help you too, by the way. Coconut oil, essential fatty acids, fatty vitamins, and also minerals, which tend to be fatty, like zinc and selenium. And I'm going fast because we're just out of time here. Then electrical nutrients, the B vitamins and electrolytes and vitamin C. Get on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Start using all the fat strategies that we talk about, the ultimate EFAs and your fatty vitamins. If you have any digestive issues, those need to be addressed as well. Anything that sparks up inflammation in the blood or increases inflammatory factors in the blood is going to mess things up in the brain. Intermittent fasting. Google the ketogenic diet, ketogenic, ketogenic diet. Miscellaneous nutrients, GABA, GABA might be helpful for you. Lithium can also be helpful, and the B vitamins, as I said earlier, are also helpful. That's all the time we have for today. I'm so sorry. Kevin, call back tomorrow. We'll get you some more info. Thanks for listening, friends. Have an awesome, beautiful day. We'll talk to you all later. Bye for now.
For health and vitality for you, your family, and friends, get the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity, as recommended by registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
If you're a junk food junkie, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one of the best ways to wean yourself off of processed snack foods and start putting good nutrition in your body. If you have a loved one who's dealing with heart disease or any health challenge, the Healthy Start Pack makes a great gift. If you have a grandparent or a parent in a nursing home, you will be amazed at the difference a once-a-day dose of the Healthy Start Pack will make in your loved one's energy levels, in their memory, in their mood, and in their general outlook on life.
Give the gift of optimal health to your loved ones and order the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to invasionstopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Hey guys, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Sell your stuff online, like old golf clubs, sports equipment, tools, and yes, even your car. Forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their fair share from you when these sales were finalized. Buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge you item fees. Just go to the website now and sign up so you can load all your stuff to sell. This is not an auction site. Just use our resources along with Skype and videos to sell your items quickly. Buysellmakeoffer.com. Also, we're giving you 30 days free on us.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
Hey guys, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Sell your stuff online, like old golf clubs, sports equipment, tools, and yes, even your car. Forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their fair share from you when these sales were finalized. Buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge you item fees. Just go to the website now and sign up so you can load all your stuff to sell. This is not an auction site. Just use our resources along with Skype and videos to sell your items quickly. Buysellmakeoffer.com. Also, we're giving you 30 days free on us.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Winter has just begun, and are you already tired of being cold? How would you like to never be cold again? This is Dale with Fortress Clothing, and I'm here to tell you, you will never be cold again with Fortress. If you're tired of freezing your butt off, elk hunting, sitting in a tree stand, deer hunting, winter camping, fishing, ice fishing, no longer fear the cold. If you snowmobile, ski, snowboard, get Fortress. Sledding with the kids, shoveling the walks, shopping, or if you or your spouse get cold feet at home, get Fortress. If you're stuck outside working in the cold or find yourself in an emergency situation, get our winter bug out bag and you will never be cold again. Fortress is the answer, so quit complaining and go to fortressclothing.com. It's a mid-layer garment that goes with anything you want to wear. Enter coupon code RADIO and get 20% off any item. Go now while we still have inventory. fortressclothing.com.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
As your body ages, there's a 10% decline in your ability to repair each passing decade after the age 28. By age 40, your ability to repair from demanding manual labor, exercise, or a stressful desk job has declined by 12%. By using One World Whey, you supercharge your body's ability to repair and eliminate inflammation. Our unique frequency-encoded whey protein, coupled with our high-quality whey, improves your cell's ability to make protein, which is to say, repair itself.
My name is Jonathan Wright, and I'm 40 years old. I recently went from a desk job to a manual labor job. Normally, I'm worn out. With energy-enhanced One World Whey, I now recover so quickly that I can perform very hard work all day long. I use energy-enhanced One World Whey for breakfast and lunch, and I experience less hunger throughout the day. I have a 30% increase in energy, and I just feel better. I plan to make energy-enhanced One World Whey a permanent part of my lifestyle.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.